Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly. I'm a houseplant enthusiast with over 250 plants, and this is my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. So welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something a little different that I know a lot of people are super interested in, and I'm going to give you a first-hand accounting of my personal experience with importing plants. Okay. Well, I have imported plants twice now, and I used the same company both times. They were recommended to me from a friend, and I had some varying experiences between the two times importing plants. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to discuss it with you. I'm going to tell you all about the process and what goes into it. So stick around and let's get into it.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my hair down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time?
Okay guys, let's talk about importing some plants. For me, importing plants is kind of like buying your groceries from Costco or Sam's Club. You're going to go and spend a lot of money up front, but you get more bulk for your money. It's like buying bulk groceries, is what I akin it to. You spend a lot of money up front, but you get more product. Instead of buying 2 Hoyas for $100 to $150 each, I got 10 for a little under $400. So when you price that out, it ends up being cheaper than I would have spent domestically. There are some pros and cons to importing, and I will tell you at the end of the video what I've decided to do. Will I continue to import plants? Am I kind of done with the import game? I guess we'll find out. There's a lot that goes into importing and a lot of things I can recommend to you as someone who's imported twice, knows the ropes a little bit, but is still pretty new to importing. So, the first thing I did when I decided I wanted to import was I had to look for a reliable person to import from. I know I get a lot of those people on Instagram, those Indonesian, Thailand, China, what have you, plant sellers that want to sell me their plants, and I don't know, sending my money overseas in the hopes they send me back something good with no real recommendation. I don't know. I really am agreeing to this. I don't know what protections I have if they steal my money and run. I wanted to go through somebody I knew personally had gone through to know that they were going to be a reliable seller. So I did ask some of my personal friends who they imported from, who they recommend, and I landed upon My Home Nature. They're online. I will link them in the description box down below because 2 of my friends recommended them and I was comfortable with their policies. That brings me to my next point. Once you find a couple sellers that you think have good reviews from people that you know, or from reviews on their pages, whatever, look very carefully at their policies. Look at their shipping policy. Do they provide a phytosanitary certificate? That's important because you can't get that. You can't get your plants into the US without a phytosanitary certificate. Do they have a live arrival policy? If your plants arrive all dead, are they going to do anything for you? If your plants get stuck in customs, what is their policy on that? You want to look at their policies and make sure that you're comfortable with everything they have to offer and how they will handle different situations that might come up. You're never going to be able to anticipate every situation, especially if this is your first time importing, but you want to have a good general idea of what is going to happen once you import and what their policies are. Next, like I said, phytosanitary certificate. Every country is different, so if you're not in the US, I'm really sorry. I don't know your laws and your regulations of your country, so you're going to have to look into that on your own. But in the US, you have to have a phytosanitary certificate to import into the United States, and that is something the seller needs to provide. What that means is that the seller has had their plants inspected by a third party and they are free of all dirt and bugs. You cannot bring plants that have dirt and bugs and things from other countries into the US that are not native to the US. It would cause a lot of changes in our ecosystem, and it's just something you don't want to do. That's why it's illegal to transport items over the border into Canada or into Mexico without proper documentation. You're transferring things from different ecosystems into a whole new ecosystem, and you don't want to disrupt anything in the United States for some plants. You just don't. You don't want to be on the agricultural top 10 most wanted list. I can guarantee it. Don't do it. If you don't have a phytosanitary and if you're not following proper legal standards, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It absolutely isn't. Not only will your plants not get to you and will be destroyed, but I don't even know what kind of ramifications they can take against you, and I don't want to find out. So just stay away from it. Do it legally. You're going to pay different amounts for your phytosanitary certificates through the seller. Mine was $39. I've seen them over $100. It just depends on where you're importing from and what you're comfortable with. Anyway, so in the US, as long as it's under 12 plants, you do not need an importer's license. If it's over 12 plants, you need to go to the Department of Agriculture, the United States Department of Agriculture, and apply for an importing license. That is completely up to you. I don't plan on doing that, so I don't have a lot of information for you on it. I will link the website I found to apply for the license, but I decided against that. I don't need to ever import more than 12 plants at a time. I'm not a nursery or anything like that. I don't intend to ever make money in a large way off of my plants, so I don't need an importer's license. I decided not to go that route. So anyway, I went onto High Home Nature's website. I picked out, the first time I imported, I picked out 10 plants, and I made my payment through PayPal. That's another thing that you want to take a look at when it comes to the store's policies. How do they accept payment? I had already decided before I even looked into this that unless they take PayPal goods and services, I wanted nothing to do with it. I want that PayPal protection that if I get screwed somehow, I get my money back. There were a lot, and I do mean a lot, of sellers that wanted Venmo, that wanted friends and family through PayPal, and that wanted, Venmo, friends and family, or wire transfer, none of which give you the protection that PayPal gives you. I want to know that if this company tries to screw me, I can go to PayPal and say, hey, I ordered these plants. They didn't send me this, or they sent me this and I got this, or I didn't get anything at all. Now they're not answering me. That PayPal will make sure I get my money returned to me. I wanted the best chance possible to not be in trouble losing a lot of money. It's a lot of money to import, and I wasn't comfortable just sending my money out there into the wind with no regulations on it whatsoever. So PayPal goods and services was the only way I was willing to pay for these plants. And they did accept PayPal. My Home Nature did accept PayPal goods and services. So we were good there. I placed my order. Now, when you place your order, obviously there's going to be a time difference because they're likely on the other side of the world. It took about a day and a half for them to acknowledge my order, which totally fine. They did communicate very well to me that it would take 7 to 14 business days for my plants to ship. The plants must be washed, cleaned, inspected to be sure they are free of all bugs. A phytosanitary certificate must be issued, and then your plants will ship. It is a process, guys. You're not going to get your plants 7 days after you buy them. You have to wait several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, to get your plants, and that's if things run smoothly. So this is also an investment in time. You give them $400, you're not getting your plants right away. It takes the email said 7 to 14 days. It did take the full 14 days for them to get back to me and tell me that my plants would be shipping in 3 days. My plants did ship 3-day express from Hong Kong, and they went through UPS. So I was happy with that. They went through UPS. I thought, that's where I'm going to get my break, man. UPS, they're a stellar company. This is where it all falls apart for me. The first time I imported, it wasn't too bad. I was still confused, but it wasn't too bad. My package left Hong Kong, and the very next day went through what was supposedly customs in Anchorage, Alaska. You would think the first point of entry into the United States would be a customs point, but I digress. So, the tracking for UPS stated it cleared customs. The next day it was in Ontario, California. So I thought, oh, I'll get it tomorrow. No big deal. It's been 2 days. It's already in California. I'm going to get it tomorrow. Score, it's only going to be 3 days. Now, about 2 hours later, I check it again just because I'm an or anxious person, and I check the tracking on my packages like 5 times a day because you never know. Held in warehouse for inspection. Why is it being inspected all of a sudden? It already cleared customs. It literally said cleared customs on the tracking. Why is it being inspected in Ontario, California? So I call UPS and I'm like, you need something from me? Like, what's the deal? It's going through customs. Well, I asked them, it went through customs in Alaska, which said it went through customs in Alaska on our tracking, but it didn't really. It didn't really go through customs, even though that's what your tracking says. Then why did you put that on the tracking if it didn't go through customs? I don't know why they did that, ma'am, but it does. There is no customs in Anchorage, Alaska. The customs is in California, Ontario. I don't know why they cleared it as cleared, as they marked it as cleared customs in Anchorage. Okay, so it entered the United States and traveled all the way to California with absolutely no customs clearance, and now all of a sudden it's being cleared. It took them 4 days to release my package, and I got my package a total of 7 days after they mailed it, which was a total of 4 weeks. I got my package a month after I placed the order. But it wasn't too bad. I was expecting a 10-day delivery, and when I saw it was 3 days, I was stoked, and when it ended up being a week, it was still less than I originally anticipated it being. So while I was like kind of pissy because 2 of my plants did die sitting in their customs warehouse, I still feel like I got a decent deal with what I did end up getting alive. And the 2 plants that died were covered from their policy at My Home Nature for a live arrival, which means I got store credit for those 2 plants for my next import. I hadn't really intended on importing a second time. I really just wanted to try it and see what it was like. But since I got a store credit, I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna try it again. One more time, get my plants. If I end up with store credit or whatever, it'll just hang there because I'm not gonna do it again. So I placed yet another order. This one was smaller. I only ordered 8 plants. It ended up being a little cheaper because the plants I ordered were cheaper. And it was a little under 300. I think it was like 293 and some change. The process was the same. A day and a half later, I got notified that they acknowledged my order. They gave me the same window of 7 to 14 business days. On the 14th business day, I was told my item would be shipping in 3 days. It did ship in 3 days. Here is where it falls apart for real. I still do not have my plants. It has been 14 days since they shipped. It has been a nightmare. And this is where I tell you that I will never import plants again. And if I do, for some reason, decide to import plants again, I will not be using My Home Nature, and I will not be allowing them to ship it through UPS. Here we go. Sit down, get a drink, because girl, guys, I need a drink. I need a drink after this. Like, I don't drink. Very rarely, like maybe once every 2 years I'll drink. I'm about to start guzzling at this point because I don't even know what to say. Like, anyway, let me tell you what happened so you can freak out with me. My plants shipped, just like Home Nature said they would. They went through Anchorage, where again, they said they cleared customs. And then they went to Louisville, Kentucky. In Louisville, Kentucky, they were held for inspection with a government agency. This was different than the same hold. It just said it was awaiting clearance the first time. This second time, it was waiting clearance from a government agency. I try not to panic because clearly they just mark whatever they want on these tracking things. Figured it would be a couple days again, they would release it, and I'd get my plants. Well, I get some cryptic email from UPS stating they need my full social security number in order to release my package. In an email from someone with a UPS tag, you want me just to give you my social security number? I call UPS, I hit 2 for international, and I sit on hold for 25 minutes, and I ask the guy who comes onto the phone, why do you need my social security number? He's like, well, we have to clear you as someone of, through government background or something like that, since this is a second time importing, we need your social security number to do that. So I went ahead and gave my social security number because at this point I either give it to him or I throw $300 away, because stopping in customs is not something that I've seen any seller cover. So I gave him my social security number. I had called UPS, spoke to a UPS representative, so that did make me feel a little bit better than getting some weird email from someone saying, hey, we need your social. So I gave it to the employee at UPS. So I wait. He tells me it could be up to 10 days before they clear my package. I wait. And I wait. A week later, I get another email. And in this week, my plant has traveled from Louisville, Kentucky, back to Ontario, California, where it was the first time, during the first import. So it's in California, in a warehouse, according to their tracking, waiting government inspection and clearance, even though I've given them my social security number already. So I get another email from yet another UPS representative telling me that there is no phytosanitary certificate in the box. And without a phytosanitary certificate, they cannot transfer my package to me. I, at this point, am wondering why they're contacting me. I'm the buyer. Shouldn't you be contacting the seller for a certificate that the seller is supposed to provide? But whatever, I copy My Home Nature on the email and forward it off to them. My Home Nature comes back 3 days later. At this point, my plants have been in UPS's possession for over 2 weeks. And tells UPS, we did provide a phytosanitary. It was taped in a packing envelope to the box. And the original is on the box. UPS says there is no phytosanitary certificate on this box. There's no package, like those little pockets that they put packing slips and invoices in. There's not one of those on the box. There's not any rip on the box to indicate that there would have been one. There's no original phytosanitary certificate. Please forward us an electronic copy. So My Home Nature sends me the electronic copy, which I then forward off to UPS. 3 more days go by. I'm thinking everything is fine. I email the lady, hey, did you get the certificate? I got the certificate. She says, I sent it off to the brokerage agency. They're going to take care of it and release your plant. Okay. 2 more days pass. It hasn't moved. Tracking hasn't changed. I email her again. She comes back and says, we need an original. An electronic copy is not going to be sufficient in order to release your package. My Home Nature is telling me they don't have an original because it was on the box. So there is no longer an original certificate to give them. So I can't provide the original. My Home Nature can't provide the original. I don't have the original. UPS is saying they don't have the original. My plants are just dying in a box somewhere in California. So I go online to the USDA website because that's who is waiting. That's who my plants are pending inspection with. The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, is waiting to inspect my box. And they can't do that without a phytosanitary certificate. I find, and I'll put this link in the description box down below so you can see what I see, that there is no need for an original phytosanitary certificate because of COVID-19 regulations. That an electronic copy will be acceptable through the end of June 2021. This was updated on their website in January. That is where we sit. I forwarded that link off to UPS stating they should be able to take the electronic copy that My Home Nature has already submitted because per the USDA website, imports for plants and agriculture will accept electronic copies. UPS has been in possession of my box for weeks. I still don't have my plants. I don't know if I can get my money back. And I will never, I don't want to say never because never is a strong word, but I can guarantee you that my need and my desire to import plants, gone. Absolutely gone. It's not worth it, people. The stress, the aggravation, the feeling of my hands just being completely tied because I can't do anything. I'm not the seller, so I have no access to any documentation. So all I am doing, for some reason, is becoming the giant middleman between these two companies, and yet neither one of them really has much to lose at this point. My Home Nature has my money. UPS got my money for shipping. They don't really care if I get my plants. I can tell you this though, with UPS giving me the email stating that there was no sign of any packing slips or anything like that on that box, no phytosanitary, I will, if I don't get a resolution within the next couple days, be submitting that to PayPal and filing a claim to get my money back. Because if that's the case, In my opinion, this isn't my plants being held at customs, and like if they charge or whatever, like me refusing to pay and losing my plants that way. This is not them just being held at customs. This is my home nature not providing the proper documentation that I paid for to release my plants through customs, and that is not on me. That is 100% the seller's fault. So hopefully PayPal will side with that and give me back my money. But I mean, I have to understand that there's a risk I may not get that back. And I'm not okay with not getting back almost $300 nor getting my plants. My plants have been in customs for a very long time at this point. I don't even know if they're alive. And I definitely don't even want to try importing again, because while they do have a live arrival guarantee, it just covers the plants. My money for phytosanitary and the shipping is completely gone. So I don't even know if it's worth trying again. My Home's Nature is adamant that they provided that certificate. UPS is adamant that it was not there. And I am just stuck here unable to do anything to change anything. I would say if you were going to import, be cautious. Follow all the steps that I gave you before as far as finding a reputable seller, finding you know, their policies and making sure that you are okay with that. But I think you also need to be very aware and very sure that you are okay potentially losing everything you paid into importing. Because as of right now, I don't know that I'm getting my money back, and I don't know that I'm getting the plants that I paid for. So I'm coming to terms and dealing with the loss of the fact that I may not actually see any return for the money that I put out for those imported plants. It is just what it is. I would say proceed with caution. I was extremely thrilled when I opened up my first importing box. It is a rush and a thrill, and it's fun, and it's actually, if everything goes well for you, an immense money saver. Because like I said, it's like shopping at Costco. You get more for your money. If I were to take $300 and go out to buy the kind of Hoyas I had imported, I would have gotten 2 or 3 if I had found a good seller with a decent price. I got 10. So absolutely, it's worth it if it works out for you. But you have to be okay with the fact that it may not. It may not work out. You may not get the results that you're wanting. Your plants might be dead. You might get stuck in a situation like I am, where you are like rock and hard place, and there's nothing I can do. I cannot provide the original phytosanitary. Home Nature is telling me they can't, and I have no way of making them. And UPS is saying that they had nothing to do with the loss of this phytosanitary certificate, and I can't prove that they did. So I'm willing to teeter on the notion that the phytosanitary was never there, because UPS did come back to me and say, well, we have 3 invoices on the box, in it. But we don't have a phytosanitary certificate. So the 3 invoices made it through, but the phytosanitary certificate didn't? I don't know. I really don't know. It's all guess and speculation at this point. But absolutely be careful. Make sure that it's money you can afford to lose, because you might. You can import 20 times and have everything go smoothly, and that one time could be a giant loss for you. So I'm not trying to say don't import if you're looking into it or wanting to. Everyone's got to do what's best for them, but just be aware of what you need to expect and have those expectations set correctly for yourself. That way you don't fall into a giant depression like I did. Because I never anticipated the fact that I may never actually receive anything. Hopefully PayPal sides with me if this doesn't go well, and I will do an update video letting you guys know, or maybe I'll just update on Instagram. I don't know. But follow me on Instagram if you haven't, because I think I might just update on Instagram, because I don't think it'll be a big video whether or not PayPal sides with me. So, but I'll keep you guys updated on PayPal and let you know what's going on with that. Thanks for listening to me rant, and I hope this made sense. And if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about this situation. All the pertinent links and everything like normal will be down below. Follow me on Instagram. I'm very active. I post several times a day, and I'm in the stories all day long. I'm definitely going to try filming a vlog soon. I would like to do like pieces of every day for maybe a week in the life of a houseplant enthusiast with 9 million plants in her jungle. So yeah, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on Instagram. I am also on TikTok, all the same name, The Planted Cauliflower. Everywhere you go is me. So thank you so much for sitting through this, and I hope you get to spend some quality time today with your plant babies. Have a good day.